Brought to you by Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn, and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
It is exactly 8 p.m. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. We are live from the Nile Avenue and you're watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Chondisha, and Nakon Elizabeth on Sign Language. Let's take a look at our top stories. Educationists want education overhaul. In more news, Vampara MP cheats death and lifted. Funeral service held for UBC budget officer. In our sports news, Entebbe Golf Tournament enters final day. In our top stories of the day, President Lyra University has received and held a meeting with the United Kingdom Prime Minister's Trade Envoy to Uganda and Rwanda, Lord Dola Poppet, who called on him yesterday at State House in Entebbe. The President and his guest was accompanied by the British High Commissioner to Uganda, Mr. Peter West, discussed issues related to investments and economic development between Uganda and Britain, especially in the sector of agriculture, in which they noted Uganda has great potential. President Yoweri Museveni informed Lord Poppet that Uganda has gone an extra mile in churning out large quantities of agricultural and dairy products, but the challenge is the low prices on the international market. He added that the immediate solution to this challenge is to process them and add value to them for export markets. Our farmers and processors of agricultural produce should adopt the competitive world so that they are not eliminated in marketing, he stressed. Lord Poppet and his Commissioner Peter West said all that is required is for the produce from Uganda to meet both the European Union and United Kingdom uniform standards that pertains to food and beverage importance to Europe. Lord Poppet President Yoweri Museveni for steering a fast, steady and progressive national economy in Uganda. State Minister for International Affairs, Honorable Henry Okello Odiem, among others, attended the meeting. Now in more news, the First Lady and Minister for Education, Janet Kataha Museveni, says the government is aware of the challenges and inadequacies of the current education system. She adds that there's a desire to see that the education system produces the human resource that will drive Uganda's socio-economic transformation by 2040. She also emphasized that the closing of a two-day conference organized by the Center for Advanced Strategic Leadership and the Institute for National Transformation was held at Mestil Hotel.
Minister of Education Janet Museveni says equitable and quality learning in education is a key driver of socio-economic progress. She notes that transforming the education system in Africa requires the wisdom of God to break the chains of the 400 years of slavery mentality. The First Lady was officiating at the closing of a two-day conference that ran on the theme Education and African Futures.
The whole of Africa is at the threshold of her promised land, so to speak, because Africa has been walking in a maze of confusion, talking about the reduction of poverty as if we have to save some for another day. Yet we have all the wealth and resources needed to completely eradicate poverty, create high rates of economic gains, and change everything that needs to be changed.
The keynote speaker at the conference, Thomas Rodmick, an educationist from Canada, says the future of Africa lies in transforming the obsolete colonial-age education system to an individualized model that enables students and teachers to attain excellence.
So we have this notion that we can start with prototype schools, that we can build digital assets, and I'll go into more detail about what that is. We could transform the curriculum into a language that students can use. Our whole profound learning is about putting learning into the hands of students. Self-assessment tools come from this bank. Students are self-assessing who they are. Teachers begin designing brain-compatible learning. And by the way, our educational vision is not students sitting behind a computer. It's highly interactive. They're engaging. They're working with...
The Center for Advanced Strategic Leadership Board Chairman, James Magara, says that applying foresight in the development of human capital will enable African countries to harness the future.
We need what can you do? And that's the challenge we have. Instead of complaining, what can you do? And we want to do what we can to work alongside with the ministry in this regard, but also as we move on to other sectors in the future. That is our goal. What can we do to make a difference?
The two-day conference brought together educationists and persons in the business of learning from across Africa to identify specific ways to better support the provision of equitable and quality education given the future of the continent. Remigius Simbonye, UBC News.
In more news, President Yoweri Museveni has presided over installation of Benjamin Odochi as first Chancellor of Lyra University. Former Chief Justice Benjamin Odochi was appointed by President Yoweri Museveni in 2016 when the university attained its autonomous status. Now, the university was a constituent college of Gulu University since 2009, and in July 2016, government upgraded it to an independent or public institution of learning. Odochi pledged to handle challenges facing the young university by lobbying for support both nationally and internationally. Now, Lyra University is located in Nayere village, Barapo Parish, Lyra Sub-County, a root county in Lyra district. It covers a total area of 621 acres. Take a look.
Of the powers conferred upon me by Section 30, Clause 1 of the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act 2001 as amended, I, Yoweri Museveni, do hereby appoint you and install you, the Honorable Justice Benjamin Odochi, as Chancellor of Lyra University. This will be for a period of 4 years, with effect from the date of assumption of duty. Signed, Yoweri Museveni, President of Uganda. I congratulate Dr. Benjamin Odochi for being installed as the Chancellor of Lyra University. I congratulate the graduates, the ones who are about to graduate. As the Vice Chancellor said very well, You have been benefiting from other people's decisions. You are now going to have to make your own decisions. And the two are different. But the biggest decision you should make, as he told you, is to keep alive and healthy. Because that is your own decision. Nobody can make it for you most of the time. So I wish you good luck, and I congratulate you, the graduates.
Your Excellency, I'm deeply honored today to be installed as the first Chancellor of Great Lyra University and to receive the instruments of authority. Your Excellency, it gives me great pleasure to embark on this new assignment from you, knowing that you desire this university to be the proverbial mustard seed project that shall become a huge tree where many birds will nest and perch.
Well, congratulations to former Chief Justice Benjamin Odochi for the appointment. Moving on in more news, the Member of Parliament for Rampara County, Engineer Charles Ngabirano, has been airlifted from Bara Regional Referral Hospital to Kampala for further management at Nakasero Hospital. He was airlifted in a Uganda People's Defence Forces chopper this Friday morning. Details follow.
This is the wreckage of a single-cabin pickup Land Cruiser in which Rampara MP Charles Ngabirano was driving in before getting involved in a freak accident on a Thursday at about 10 a.m. The accident that happened just 6 kilometers from Barara town was reportedly due to loss of control by the legislator's driver.
The driver was going to get head-on collision with another vehicle. When he dodged it, the vehicle overturned.
The MP says he has broken ribs and other minor injuries, while the other occupant in the car and the driver are out of the danger.
What happened is that my driver lost control and we rolled. Where was that? In Mbarara, between Mbarara and Rampara. We count to 3. So I have broken ribs, 4 of them.
The MP was first admitted to Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital. He was airlifted by UPDF chopper early on Friday to Nakasero in Kampala for further management. Charles Ngabirano was headed to Rampara District Headquarters for swearing-in ceremony of the interim district chairperson. For UBC TV News, I am Philip Aguta.
Indeed, MP survives death and cheated death at the same time. In more news, the Chief Justice of Uganda, Bart Katurebe, has revealed that he is to retire June next year. This position in the judiciary, while hosting delegates from Africa regional courts at his official residence in Nakasero, Katurebe said he is currently working on his retirement and does not expect to be with them in the next conference.
Chief Justices from across Africa and regional courts have been entertained with music, dance, drama and African cuisine at the Chief Justice Bart Katurebe's official residence at Nakasero Hill, Kampala. The informal evening was aimed at bringing all the regional Chief Justices who have been attending a conference in Kampala. Katurebe narrated to the law gurus about the history of Nakasero Hill, which he said was the base for the British, and Kololo Hill, place for businessmen and the affluent Africans.
For me, it's goodbye, because by the time you hold the next meeting, I'm working on my retirement in a few months' time. So by the next time you hold the meeting, I definitely will not be Chief Justice. But if you invite me, I'll come.
I also say that CJ Katurebe retires in June.
Je voudrais aussi dire qu'au moment où le président Katurebe prend sa retraite au mois de juin de l'année prochaine,
I follow in December.
Je vais poursuivre au mois de décembre.
Appreciating the gesture, the Chief Justice of Kenya, Maraga David, applauded Ugandans for the hospitality exhibited and the wonderful music from the troupe.
Uganda is wonderful.
L'Ouganda est extraordinaire.
They have maintained their culture a lot.
Ils ont préservé énormément leur héritage culturel.
In fact, in Kenya, the people we are proud of are the Maasais, who have stuck to their culture for this long.
The night was crowned with giving of gifts to the Deputy Chairperson, African Union Commission, Chief Justice, Republic of Zimbabwe, and the President, Federal Supreme Court of Ethiopia.
The second gift is for the President of the African Court of Human and People's Rights.
Moving on from that, about 526 billion has been gazetted to pay veterans across the country, but put by government. State Minister for Defence and Veterans Affairs, Lieutenant Colonel Bright Ramirama, has revealed that government has put aside a budget to cater for over 73,000 veterans across the country.
About 11,000 veterans are to benefit from the 526 billion this financial year. State Minister for Veterans, Lieutenant Colonel Bright Ramirama, says at least 91 billion has already been secured to pay 11,000 veterans. The minister was speaking to veterans in Tororo district, where he launched district veteran circles.
These are files which have been audited and cleaned. We have put all the necessary records in the file, and we think these ones should be paid.
While addressing Tororo district veterans, the State Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Bright Ramirama, informed them that government had already secured the money, clear them.
Because we are targeting about to now remaining is 73,000 veterans, and this includes gratuity and pension.
Ramirama says at least 73,000 veterans will be paid off beginning of this financial year. Veterans reported some issues affecting them ever since they were laid off duty. RDC Tororo Nixon Owole challenged veterans to continue being exemplary, just as they did in the forces.
The future is very bright for you people. Therefore, guide it jealously. Don't go outside there and behave like people who do not have hope.
At the same function, the minister commissioned the veteran circle at a Guru Technical School, where he gave in 2 million shillings to support the veteran circle. He also met the widows and orphans of veterans and donated over 5 electric sewing machines. The over 500 billion budget is going to pay veterans gratuity and pension. Story compiled by David Cheng for UBC TV News.
UBC News Tonight will take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more news for you.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice. Introducing the new itel P15 smartphone with free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Enjoy unique features like the big memory, 4000 mAh big battery, 5-inch HD screen, and the fingerprint sensor. Dial *175*9# to activate free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Get yours at the nearest itel branded shop. itel, in partnership with Airtel, the smartphone network.
Mommy, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Daddy, what's wrong?
I've had a long day, Angel, and I have a bad headache.
Oh, I'll give you something that will make you feel better if you promise to play with us.
Headache? Toothache. Unapoumwa, unataka kitulizo kwa haraka gani? Mara moja. Pain and fever reliever. A quality product from Beta Healthcare contains paracetamol, caffeine, and aspirin. Beta Healthcare, caring for all. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Send money from Airtel to Airtel at 60% discounted rates. Yes, you can now send money for as low as 100 shillings and a maximum of 1,000 shillings. And that's not all. You can now withdraw up to 7 million shillings from your nearest Airtel money agent for as low as 12,500 shillings. Remember, depositing money is free. Buying airtime through Airtel Money is free. Airtel Money and PIN registration is free. Do not pay any transaction charges directly to the agent, and never share your PIN number with anyone. Enjoy the lowest rate on Airtel Money today. Airtel Money. Simple, instant, secure. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In our business news, Buganda Kingdom and Uganda breweries have extended their Ngule beer partnership to 2022. Now the partnership seeks to raise income levels for farmers growing cassava and sorghum, the main ingredients of the alcoholic beverage, and also strengthen the mutual relationship between the two institutions.
In January 2016, Uganda Breweries Limited and Buganda Kingdom entered a partnership to produce the Ngule beer. The partnership consisted of a revenue sharing agreement that is beneficial to both entities.
We shall keep our part of the bargain, and I'm sure we shall both enjoy the benefit that arises from working within, acceptable standards. Like the CEO of Majestic Brands told you, we are the bridge to the market.
In the last 3 years, the Kingdom has earned at least 1.602 billion shillings in royalties. As the product becomes popular and the socio-economic impact appreciated, the two entities have extended their partnership for 3 more years.
We have about 1,000 farmers coming from the Buganda Kingdom who grow cassava that is used in Ngule. We have another 17,000 farmers across the patch in Uganda who grow sorghum and barley that is used to brew and manufacture Ngule.
Ngule is a 100% locally produced beer whose main ingredients are cassava and sorghum, exclusively sourced from the Ugandan farmers. While cementing UBL and Buganda's business partnership in Bulangi Mengo, the Katikiro Charles Peter Mahiga cautioned the public against alcoholism.
The consumption of Ngule should be done as an act of social engagement, not as an addiction or some kind of habit. We don't want people to say, I cannot sleep unless I take 3 bottles of Ngule.
The partnership is a proactive strategy geared at raising income levels for both the Kingdom and its people. Dennis Igoma for UBC Business.
Moving on from that, the Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas has questioned the eligibility of RSK Limited to undertake environmental impact assessment in Uganda, and also raised a red flag on the issue of an interim developer undertaking the SCA instead of the actual developer. Their concerns originate from the recent SCA public hearing on the East African crude oil pipeline.
Majority of the project-affected persons in the East African crude oil pipeline project complained about the delay in compensation, although the Petroleum Authority of Uganda confirmed that their issues are being taken care of. The Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas is also probing the matter.
Our advice to government has been, when an assessment is done, government or the developer should not set the cut-off point, because the cut-off point is a time when actually no more development should take place on the land. So that cut-off point should not be set until money has been appropriated and it is available to compensate those who have lost their property.
They also raised concern on the issue of transparency and accountability of the oil and gas public hearings.
People make submissions. You call for submissions, people make submissions, but there is no feedback mechanism to citizens to know what the issue that they have provided, whether they have been taken on board. If they are not taken on board, what are the reasons why actually their issues have not been taken on board? So we are not getting that feedback. A report is supposed to be prepared by the presiding officer. This report would be a tool where citizens will be able to look at and say, okay, our issues were at least captured in the report. This report is also not being made a public document, and therefore people cannot even know whether their issues have been captured in the report, leave alone whether action has been taken about this report.
Even though the CSOs laud the inclusiveness of the consultative process of ASIA, they highlight outstanding legal, environmental and social issues.
And we therefore recommend that NEMA should not approve the ECOP ASIA report until the issue of eligibility of RSK Limited to undertake environment impact assessments in Uganda is resolved, to the issue of the interim developer undertaking the environment impact assessment instead of the actual developer is resolved, and appropriate guarantees are made that the actual developer is or that when the actual developer is incorporated, such developer will inherit all the commitments and obligations that were made by the interim developer.
An online search of RSK Limited yields many results showing a global presence of the UK-founded Integrated Environmental, Engineering and Technical Services Consultancy. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Introducing the new itel P15 smartphone with free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Enjoy unique features like the big memory, 4000 mAh big battery, 5-inch HD screen, and the fingerprint sensor. Dial *175*9# to activate free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Get yours at the nearest itel branded shop. itel, in partnership with Airtel, the smartphone network.
Inspirational moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church, Kampala.
The Lord is going to restore our lives. He will not let his children be oppressed. You not work on a project and end midway. You will not begin building and your construction stalls. You will not stall.
Inspirational moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church, Kampala.
In our sports story, the Uganda National Netball League resumes this weekend with various games lined up at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. In the highlight game, current table leaders National Insurance Corporation face reigning champions Prisons in an anticipated thriller. As it stands, National Insurance Corporation leads the standings with 10 points while Prisons has collected 6. National Insurance Corporation will look to Rachel Nanyonga, Ruth Meme and Joanne Nampungu against a Prison side that misses its injured inspirational team captain Lillian Agio. In other games lined up, Poster plays Police, Machinde Division entertain KCCA, and GPDF faces Uganda Christian University. We'll take a look at the weather forecast by Juliet Alituera.
Welcome once again to the weather report. I'm Lyra Juliet from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Today, most parts of the country have had sunny intervals with light rains, and from the rainfall report received by 9 a.m. this morning, it is indicating Masindi with 16.5 millimeters, Mbarara with 13.2, Bududa 11.3, whereas Bushenyi reported 10 millimeters of rainfall. From the satellite image taken over Africa, it is indicating the rain belt still over our country and contributing to these wet activities we are still experiencing. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting light rains for areas around Lake Victoria Basin, together with those in Gulu. Elsewhere, we shall have partly cloudy skies. Later in the afternoon, we expect rains in most parts of the country, apart from the Karamoja region and West Nile, where we are expecting sunny intervals. The maximum temperatures will go up to 28 degrees centigrade for the Karamoja region. Around Lake Victoria Basin, we are expecting a maximum of 27, together with Kampala, our capital city. And for those in Kabale, we are expecting a maximum of 22 degrees centigrade. And if you intend to travel beyond Uganda, we are expecting light rains in Kigali and in Madrid, where we are expecting the maximum to go up to 18 degrees centigrade. Cloudy conditions are anticipated for Tokyo and Vienna, whereas sunny intervals are the focus for Dodoma. Thank you for keeping us company. That's what we had in store for you today. Have a blessed night.
That was the weather forecast with Juliet Lyra. Now that brings us to the end of our news bulletin at 8 p.m. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. And stay watching UBC TV for more programming coming your way. Have a lovely night.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements. Brought to you by Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn, and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.